Okay, let's unpack this. You're thinking about a trip to Jakarta, right? Picturing landing, that wave of heat, the buzz of a new city, it's exciting.
Totally.
But then maybe that little worry creeps in. Wait, the visa? Did I get that right? It can kind of take the shine off things.
Absolutely. Visa stuff, it feels like a hurdle sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Getting solid info up front makes all the difference.
Which is exactly why we're diving into this today. We've been looking at information from moveandstay.com.
Ah, yeah.
And what's really interesting is these guys, they've been helping folks out in Asia for like over 25 years.
Wow, yeah?
Specifically business travelers, expats, finding places short-term, long-term.
Yeah.
So they've really seen how visa rules have shifted over time.
Yeah, that kind of long-term experience, especially helping people actually live and work there, probably gives them a really practical view beyond just the official lines.
Exactly. So our mission here is to take what they know, that practical info, and just, well, make it simple for you. Whether you're planning a quick look around Jakarta or maybe, something longer term for work, we
Yeah.
want to clear up the visa confusion.
Yeah, try and give you the stuff you might not get from just a quick search online, sort of the practical angle.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. Visa types. Because it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation, is it?
Not at all.
Let's start with tourist visas. Most people just wanting to explore Jakarta, this is probably their first stop. What are the main options?
Well, move and stay flags up a few key ones.
Mm.
The visa on arrival, the VOA, that's probably the most common,
Right.
available for lots of nationalities, usually gives you 30 days, and you might be able to extend it once for another 30.
Okay.
But, and this is important, you always need to check the latest rules before you go. Things can change.
Good point, yeah. Always double check. They also mentioned the EVOA, the electronic one.
Yes, the EVOA. That
Sure.
could be a real time saver.
Especially at a busy airport like Soekarno-Hatta, I imagine.
Exactly. You apply online before you travel.
Right.
Means you potentially skip the queues for forms and payment when you land. Might be a dedicated lane.
Sounds useful. Worth having a printout of the confirmation, though, probably.
Oh, definitely. Always have a hard copy just in case.
And the third tourist option they mention is the short stay visit visa, the one you get beforehand.
Yeah, that's the one you apply for at an Indonesian embassy or consulate in your home country before you travel.
Seems like that's more for people with really fixed plans, maybe.
That's a good way to put it. Or maybe if your nationality isn't eligible for VOA, gives you that security of having the visa sorted before you even leave home.
Okay, and a really crucial point Movansfe makes, tourist visas are just for tourism, like strictly tourism.
Absolutely. No business meetings, no looking for work, nothing like that.
Etiquette, seriously.
Very seriously. Trying to work on a tourist visa can lead to big problems. Fines, detention, even deportation. Not worth the risk.
Right, okay, so flip side. What if you are going for work stuff? Meetings, conferences, but not actually getting employed in Indonesia?
Okay, so for that, you'd need a business visa.
Right.
And Move In Stay points out these usually need a sponsor, an Indonesian company or organization you're dealing with.
Okay, so more paperwork involved than a tourist visa, sounds like.
Generally, yes. You'll likely need things like a sponsorship letter from that Indonesian company,
Mm-hmm.
a detailed itinerary showing what business you'll be doing, and proof you've got enough money for your stay.
Makes sense. They need to see it's legitimate business and you can support yourself. Yeah?
Exactly. They want to understand a purpose
Yeah.
and be sure you won't need to, find work illegally.
Okay. Now, what about longer stays? People thinking about actually working there or studying, maybe even retiring in Jakarta.
Right. For longer term stuff, beyond just a few months, you're looking at different categories.
Like,
Things like a work visa, which is often called a KITAS, that stands for the Limited Stay Permit Card,
Kitas. Okay.
or a student visa if you're enrolled
Right.
somewhere, or a retirement visa, which has specific age and financial requirements you've got to meet.
And I'm guessing applying for those is a whole different ballgame compared to a tourist visa.
Oh, yeah, much more involved. More documents, often needs approvals from different government departments like the Ministry of Manpower for a work visa.
Takes longer too, presumably.
Definitely. Move and Stay really stresses starting the application process way in advance for these long-term visas.
Yeah.
Weeks, maybe longer.
Good heads up. Okay, so we know the types of visas. Let's talk about actually applying the nuts and bolts. Sounds like a lot can be done online now.
Thankfully, yes. The first step is finding the official Indonesian immigration website.
Emphasis on official, right. Avoid scams.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Check that URL carefully. Then you'll usually create an account, fill out the online form accurately, honestly, upload your documents.
And then pay the fee, the fun part.
Yeah.
Yep.
Usually credit card or bank transfer. And like Move and Stay suggests, keep proof of that payment.
Good tip. So you submit it all, and then wait.
Pretty much. Submit and wait for confirmation or updates.
Okay, documents. You mentioned uploading documents. What's the standard stuff pretty much everyone needs, regardless of visa type?
Move and Stay gives a good general list. Your passport, obviously, needs at least 6 months validity left after your planned stay.
6 months minimum. Got it.
The application form itself, done online. Passport photos, usually with specific size and background rules. Proof of onward travel, like your return flight ticket.
Right.
And proof you have enough money.
Yeah.
Sufficient funds.
And they mentioned a figure like US $2,000 as a rough guide.
They suggested that as a possible starting point, yeah. But they also really stress, check the specific amount needed for your visa type and length of stay.
Right, because it could vary.
It definitely can. And then depending on the visa, you might need other things like an invitation letter or that business sponsorship letter or student ID.
So bottom line, check the official immigration website for the exact list for your situation. And make sure scans or photos of docs are clear, right? No blurry pics.
Exactly. Clear, legible documents avoid delays or even rejection. Pay attention to the details.
Okay, application submitted, documents uploaded. How long are you typically waiting for an answer?
It varies. Based on Move and Stay's info, tourist visas are often pretty quick, maybe 3 to 5 business days.
Okay.
Business visas might be a bit longer, say 7 to 10 business days. Long-term visas, like KITAs, well, that can take longer, maybe 2 to 4 weeks, sometimes more.
So definitely apply well ahead of time. Can you track it online usually?
Yes, most official systems let you track your application status. And if it goes way past the estimate, you can try contacting immigration, but check online first.
Right. Now, some good news, potentially. Situations where you might not need a visa at all for a short trip. Visa exemptions.
Correct. Indonesia has agreements with lots of countries allowing visa-free entry for short stays.
For tourism, family visits, that kind of thing.
Yeah, tourism, family, social visits, sometimes even conferences. But the absolute key thing Move and Stay highlights is check the latest official list.
Because the list can change.
Exactly. Don't rely on old information. Always check the Indonesian immigration website right before you travel.
And even if you're exempt, you still need that 6 months passport validity.
Yes, that rule pretty much always applies. And the visa-free stay is usually 30 days. And crucially, it's not extendable.
Okay, so 30 days max if you're visa exempt.
Right. And you still go through immigration, so have your return ticket handy.
Okay. Let's circle back to the visa on arrival, the VOA. We mentioned it for tourists. Any other key details?
Yeah, it's a good option for nationalities not on the visa exempt list. You get it right there at the airport, like Soekarno-Hatta. Usually 30 days, often extendable once for another 30. Move and Stay mentions having the fee ready in cash helps. USD or Indonesian rupiah.
Makes sense. Speeds things up.
Yeah, you join the VOA queue, fill out a quick form, and again, passport needs 6 months validity.
Okay, so for many standard trips, it's either exemption or VOA. But what if you're doing something more specific, like filming or research?
Yeah. For things outside normal tourism or basic business meetings, you'll likely need special permits.
Like a filming permit or research permit.
Exactly. And the process for getting those is usually more complex. The really important thing is you need to sort these out before you travel.
Don't just show up and hope for the best.
Definitely not. Avoids legal trouble. Move and Stay even noted things like specific remote worker visas sometimes pop up, showing how things evolve.
Interesting. So if it's not a simple holiday or business trip, investigate special permits first.
Absolutely. Proactive planning saves major headaches later.
All right, so you've got your visa, you've landed in Jakarta. What are the big rules or conditions you need to follow while you're there?
Okay, Move and Stay flags a few key things. First, money. You need to be able to show you can support yourself financially during your stay.
So keep bank statements handy, maybe?
Could be asked for them, yeah. And again, check the specific amount needed for your visa and stay duration.
Makes sense. What about things you absolutely cannot do?
Big no-nos include working if you don't have the right work permit. Remember, tourist visa means tourism only.
Right.
Getting involved in politics is also forbidden on temporary visas. And a huge one, overstaying your visa.
Even by one day.
Even by a day. Leads to fines, possible detention, deportation. It's your responsibility to know your visa expiry date and stick to it.
Okay, noted. And beyond visa rules, you just have to follow Indonesian law generally, correct?
Of course, you're subject to all local laws. Yeah. That includes respecting customs and traditions, dressing modestly at temples, respectful public behavior, and being aware of specific laws. Mugen Stay specifically mentions Indonesia's extremely strict drug laws. Penalties are severe.
Right, zero tolerance there.
Exactly. Also, things like needing the right license if you plan to drive. Basically, know the rules and follow them.
Okay, so let's say you're there and plans change. You need to stay longer or maybe switch visa types. How does extending or converting a visa work?
Extending isn't always possible. Tourist visas, for example, have limits. But things like AKITAs, the limited stay permit, usually have clearer extension procedures.
What do you typically need for an extension?
Generally, your passport, copy of your current visa, the application form from the immigration office, maybe a sponsor letter if relevant, proof of funds.
And the key advice is?
Start early. Move and Stay really emphasizes applying for an extension well before your current visa expires, like at least a month beforehand.
Don't leave it to the last minute. What about switching visa types entirely, say tourist to worker?
Yeah, that means applying for a whole new visa category that fits your new situation.
So getting a job offer while on a tourist visa means applying for a work visa, AKITAs.
Exactly. You'll need a sponsor, your employer usually, meet all the requirements for the work visa.
Might you have to leave the country and come back?
That can happen, yes. Sometimes you need to exit and re-enter on the new visa once it's approved.
So lots of deadlines to track, not just the final expiry.
Definitely. Visa expiry date, extension application deadline, when to start a conversion process, put reminders in your calendar.
Good advice. Now, anything specific non-Indonesian citizens should be particularly aware of? Any variations based on nationality?
Yes. Requirements can differ. Move and Stay advises checking with the Indonesian embassy or consulate in your home country. That's the best source for nationality-specific info.
You might need more documents or details.
Potentially, yeah. More detailed background info, travel history, financial proof, maybe things like a formal invitation or a confirmed accommodation proof. Best to check directly.
And beyond the paperwork, there's the cultural side too, isn't there?
Absolutely. Being aware of and respecting local customs is huge. Modest dress, especially at religious sites, being mindful in public.
Little things matter.
They do. Like avoiding pointing with your index finger or being mindful about using your left hand for things. Learning even a few basic Indonesian phrases goes a long way too. Shows respect.
Right, just being a considerate visitor. Okay, so if people need help navigating all this, where can they turn? What are the reliable resources?
The #1 source is always the official Indonesian Directorate General of Immigration. Their website is the place for FAQs, forms, latest rules.
Check there first.
Definitely. You can try contacting their main office in Jakarta, but the website's usually faster for general info. Move and Stay also suggests the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website and your own country's embassy website in Indonesia.
Cross-referencing is smart, given rules can change.
Always a good idea. And your own embassy can be a real help too, right?
Yeah, embassies can offer guidance, especially specific to your nationality. They can help if you run into problems like a lost passport or legal issues.
Exactly. They're there to support their citizens abroad.
Okay, so wrapping this up, it seems like getting the Jakarta visa sorted, while maybe a bit daunting at first, is totally doable. It just takes some research, understanding the visa types, knowing the conditions, and crucially, always checking the latest official info before you travel.
Especially for longer stays or if you're doing more than just tourism, preparation is key.
Being informed definitely seems like the best strategy for a smooth trip.
Absolutely.
So thinking about how complex travel rules can be and how they're always changing, and considering Move and Stay's long experience helping people settle in Asia, what other practical things, beyond just visas, should people really focus on researching if they're considering a longer stay or working in a new country like Indonesia?
That's a great question to ponder. You know, thinking about Move and Stay's focus, I'd say really digging into finding the right place to live is huge. Understanding the neighborhoods, the cost of living there, budgeting for it, and maybe looking into what support networks exist for expats or international workers already in Jakarta. Those practical, on-the-ground things seem just as vital as the visa itself for settling in long-term.